Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Mayakashi deck profile. Now yes, I did build the FTK version. This is for when you don't want your opponent to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So this deck is a lot of fun to play. I carry this deck around when I'm trading and stuff, and I'm waiting on my opponent to trade to kind of play solitaire by myself, I guess. I know that's really funny and really bad, but I do it just to see if I can OTK and FTK with this deck. It's really fun if you like playing by yourself, because nobody's going to want to play once they realize that this is an FTK version. But I will give you a disclaimer. This is an FTK version. It's a really fun deck. It's really easy to get the FTK off with this deck, but don't play it against somebody that you want to be friends with. But anyways, guys, let's get straight into this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll show you guys how I'm playing this Mayakashi deck. So first off, we're going to play 3 copies of Daki. Her effect is that if she's in the graveyard, you can only control 1 copy of Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi. And when a Mayakashi monster is special summoned to your field from the extra deck, while you control, while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon her. Basically, but you cannot special summon monster from your extra deck the turn you special summon her, except for Mayakashis. She's the big combo piece that lets you special summon out all the Mayakashi synchros with Soul Absorbing Bone Tower just to mill your opponent out. Then I played 3 copies of Hajin, the winged Mayakashi. He's the one that kind of starts all your plays. If he's normal or special summoned, you get to special summon a Mayakashi from your deck, except another copy of himself, which you're always going to summon Daki, and then start synchro summoning into you'll start by synchro summoning into the wheeled Mayakashi, and then go up into the poisonous, and then finally winged, and then graceful, and then skeletal, and then into ice Mayakashi. And by then, you're going to mill your opponent out 27-ish cards, 28, something like that. I don't know. It's a bunch of cards that you're going to mill your opponent out just by climbing a ladder. Because every time you summon a synchro, you summon her. So every time you synchro summon, essentially you're milling 4, because you're summoning her once and you're summoning the synchro monster. So it's really busted. It's really, really busted. They really need to ban Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. And I'm saying that and I'm playing the deck. So 3 copies of Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. Basically, this is the card that FTKs your opponent. This card cannot be attacked if there's another zombie monster on the field. And each time a zombie monster is special summoned successfully, send 2 cards off the top of your opponent's deck to the grave. So basically, this deck says, I'm going to normal summon out Haji, then normal summon out Soul Absorbing Bone, or I'm going to summon Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, summon Haji, special summon this, mill 2, synchro, mill 2 more, summon her back, mill 2 more, and you just keep milling until you win off of Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. But like I said, it's a really fun deck if you want to play by yourself. But it's a fun deck, seriously. Or if you want to carry it to locals and win tournaments, play this deck. So then you play 2 copies of Gozuki. Gozuki is basically here to send the particular cards you need to the graveyard to kind of play off your Mayakashis. Just to get off Monster Reborns and stuff like that, and Soul Charge just to summon back your Soul Absorbing Bone Tower if you need to send it to the grave to summon it off instead of normal summoning it. So that's pretty much what it's here for. I play 3 copies of Mizuki because I have won games just off of normal summoning out Unizombie, sending Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, and then playing double summon and then summoning Haji, and then banishing the Mizuki, summon out Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, and then you go off from there. Then I play 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire to summon out our 3 copies of Unizombie. You just play this to summon out and send what you need to grave. But that's pretty much it for the monsters. You play a mild zombie engine in here. If you don't want to play the Soul Absorbing Bone Towers, you can drop it, and I will build a non-FTK version of this deck. If you guys want to see that, comment down below and tell me you want to see just a regular old version of Mayakashis if you don't want to play this and make everybody mad at locals. If you did, let them know who did, so they can at least come subscribe and see why. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 1 copy, I wish I could play 3 copies, but 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is here just to revive, if you use Unizombie to send off Soul Absorbing Bone Tower to search it, essentially, it lets you revive it really easily. The same thing with Soul Charge, just to summon it off really easily. You want to play these two at 1 each so you can revive the zombies. And plus, when a zombie's revived successfully, you get to mill 2 Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, so just like mills cards for days. 1 for 1 to summon out Hajin, the Wing Mayakashi. Foolish Barrel to send out what we don't need. Card destruction, because if you start with card destruction, you're gonna you gotta do math when you're doing this, when you're playing this deck. Like, if your opponent opens up 5 and you're going first and you instantly card destruction them because you don't have the cards to FTK, they're gonna mill 5. Then they're gonna draw 5, so they're already 10 cards short in their deck. So then you start going into your FTK combo, and it takes you less summons to FTK them, and you can just end on like the Skeletal Mayakashi, and you're like, well, draw your card. Oh wait, you can't. This deck, I seriously was showing Savannah how this deck works, and I got all the way one time to where I could mill out a 60 card deck with this deck in 1 turn. Like, one time I could do it, which was just amazing. And I didn't use card destruction. I just used Soul Charge. Like, it just did it. So then we play 3 copies of Mayakashi Return. Mayakashi Return is you take a Mayakashi and either add it to your hand or send it to the grave. Usually this is to search our Winged Mayakashi to start our combo with. He's the best card in the deck to just start the combo. Like, he's the only card that starts the combo. 3 copies of Book of Life, because we send Soul Absorbing Bone Tower to the grave so easily that we need to be able to revive it. 3 copies of Hand Destruction. I play that because you really need it to be able to stop, to be able to, hit your opponent with milling all the things. And so we play it at 3. If you're feeling a little threatened by your opponent being able to hand trap you, you can actually drop these and play 3 copies of Called by the Grave instead. Like, that's an option if you want to go that route. I know, I just pulled those out of nowhere. I don't know where. I just pulled them out of thin air. So, 3 copies of either Hand Destruction or Call by the Grave, however you feel like you need. If you feel like your opponent's hand trapping you too much, side out the Hand Destructions for the Call by the Graves. If you don't and you want to mill them out even faster and finish the game fast, flip it and just play Hand Destruction. Like, these are interchangeable right here. So, you can play either or. So then we play 3 copies of Double Summon, because you need that extra normal summon to be able to summon out your Bone Towers and your Hajins, or whatever you want to say, Hajis, or whatever you say his name is, the Wing Mayakashi guy. You summon out him with that, and then it lets you essentially normal summon a second time in the name, and you need that extra normal summon. If you open up a double summon, double summon and Soul Absorbing Bone Tower and him, you've got the FTK. You've got the FTK right here with this, or if you don't open him, Mayakashi Return, or Unizombie here in the double summon, you've got it. I mean, it's easy to FTK your opponent with this deck. It's ridiculous. Then I play 3 copies of Call of the Mummy. Call of the Mummy just lets us special summon out a zombie monster from the hand. And you must control no monsters to activate and resolve this effect. So usually you're going to summon out your Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. You always want to get this Soul Absorbing Bone Tower on the field first, because if you do, at that point you can just FTK. That's what you're going for at that point. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So really fun deck. I think it's fun. It's fun for me, not for them. So for the extra deck, it's very simple. You only really need the Mayakashis. I threw in the extra 2 cards for my own reason. And you can even do this. You can even play this deck and not FTK and still be able to win. So it's really funny to catch your opponent off guard and then to use Pot of Desires. And then you get your turn and you FTK them because they've used 15 plus whatever they've used. And they're down to 20 cards. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to win. So I play 3 copies of the Link Monster. Some people play 2. I think 3 is the better number. Her effect is that you can only control one of her. All of them have that effect that you can only control one of them. And then her other effect is that while this card points to a Synchro Monster, your opponent cannot target this card with attacks. And if a Synchro Monster in your possession is destroyed by battle, or an opponent's card effect while this card is on the field, you can target one monster on the field. Its attack and defense become half its current attack and defense until the end phase. And you can only use your effect once per turn. So then I play 2 copies of the Skeletal Mayakashi. Its effect is that if a link monster in your possession is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, while this card's in your grave, you can banish one other zombie monster in your grave and use special summon it. And if this card is special summoned from the grave, you can activate this effect. This face-up card is unaffected by cards and effects, which is really cool. I really love that effect about him. He's just an awesome card. Then we play 2 copies of Yugioh, the Graceful Mayakashi. Cool thing is if you actually look at them, there's corresponding Mayakashis that they transform into, and in like he's the winged Mayakashi right there. Like these are the same guy right here, and then Daki is actually Yoko, which is cool. So let me play. Her effect is that if it's synchro summoned, if a synchro monster you control, whose original level is 11, is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect while it's in the grave, you can banish the zombie and then special summon this. And if this card is special summoned from the grave, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Tengu has the same thing, but level 9, if a level 9 is destroyed. And if this card is special summoned from the grave, destroy a spell or trap. The Poisonous Mayakashi is the same thing. If he's destroyed, you can special summon him from the grave, and if he's special summoned from the grave, send the top 3 cards from your opponent's deck to the grave, from each player's deck to the grave. Then 2 copies of the Wheeled Mayakashi. If the Poisonous Mayakashi is destroyed, which is a level 5, you get to if you special summon the grave, you can activate this effect this turn. Your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, which is really cool. And then I play a Sword Yugioh because it's really easy to get a bunch of different monsters with names on the field. And then I play a Link Rebo because you can use Hajin to summon out the Link Rebo. So it's just Link Rebo's here just in case like you can't FTK, and you can't special summon out the Daki when you do this. Like you can't do it. So you have to like not summon it, normal summon him, and then summon out the Link Rebo. It's really odd to do that, but it's like if you know you're getting backed into the corner, you can do that. So that's why I play 1 Link Rebo, which you really only need from like this. Like these are interchangeable slots. I play the Sword Yugioh just to dig in case I can't FTK for some reason, and it extends me, but I can't summon it on the turn that I use Hajin's effect, which kind of sucks. But that's it for the FTK deck. It's a really fun deck, like I said. It's really odd that they made this. I don't think they anticipated it to actually be this. I think they wanted to just make a really cool zombie synchro deck, and they were like, whoa, wait a minute, Soul Absorbing Bone Tower is a thing. And I think that Konami will address it on the next ban list if this becomes a problem. Usually I get like a 60-65% ratio that I'm going to FTK. If I don't, you still have really big zombies in the extra deck that are lurking there. Like they go up all the way to 33. So like this is like the most brutal FTK you can do. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.